Atrato, the traveller that took my soul away. Broad and abundant you flow, in your slow journey you portray the pain you unjustly bear, step by step to the sea.
Rivers have always had a voice. We've given them voices through poems and songs, by incorporating them into our identities, by considering them as sacred and life-giving beings. We've experienced their voices in the form of floods and times of droughts. We've been closely linked to each voice as it sings. So what does it mean when another voice, a legal voice, is added to its song?
Río Atrato, Río Atrato.
The Atrato River in the Choco region of Colombia is one such river that has been closely tied to the communities living along it. Within one of the most biodiverse regions on the planet, the river has an abundance of alluvial gold deposits, making the Choco region the second largest producer of gold in Colombia. This region mainly comprises of Afro-Colombian and indigenous communities, in part due to a history of slavery in the region.
The Pacific coastal region was colonized mainly from the late 18th century by very small numbers of Spanish miners or mine owners, slave owners, who imported a lot of African slaves just for the purposes of mining gold.
There is a huge history in the Choco of the marginalization of people of color, particularly the black community, the impoverization of that community. There are sort of views that community has been ignored by the wider country.
This has rendered the Choco region to be one of the poorest departments of Colombia. Almost 60% of its inhabitants live below the poverty line, while 34% live in extreme poverty.
The Pacific coastal region, in terms of indicators, scores very badly in terms of literacy, in terms of health, infant mortality, adult mortality, education, poverty, and so on.
Mining is a major industry in the Choco region that is often a source of conflict. It is controlled by several armed, illegal actors, rebels, and organized crime syndicates, leading to an uncontrolled exploitation of gold in the region.
Mining is tending to be run by actors from outside of the Choco, acting illegally on land that is owned by Chocoan or indigenous communities. I suspect in many instances armed actors, paramilitary groups are involved in securing territory to enable those mining operations to happen.
Conflicts and this uncontrolled gold extraction have led to contamination of the river.
Certainly when you have gold mining, for example, which requires mercury in the processing of the ore, you can have devastating impacts on the river. You can have direct poisoning. I mean, that can have direct impacts on organisms and therefore the organisms that people depend on, but also direct impact on the health of the people.
These environmental impacts and security concerns have directly threatened the livelihoods of the Afro-Colombian and indigenous communities, who have always identified themselves with the river socio-naturally, wherein society and nature are inseparable and are mutually dependent on each other.
Soy una mujer afrodescendiente. Crecí en un territorio ancestral que data desde 1636. Desde pequeño nos enseñan el valor de la tierra.
Mi nombre es Mason Chamorro Caldera. Yo soy Embera Dóvida. La palabra Embera significa hombre, Do significa río. O sea que mi pueblo es un pueblo es un pueblo de río. Primero les quiero contar que nosotros, el río Atrato para nosotros es un ser que tiene vida. Eso es de la cosmovisión de los pueblos indígenas.
In response to conflict and environmental degradation in the region, and following community protests, the Quibdó Diocese in Tierra Digna, an NGO and social justice research organization, united the Afro-Colombian and indigenous communities, and filed a petition for protection of the river. What they got instead was a novel ruling from the highest court in Colombia, the Constitutional Court.
No habría una ley de la República o no habría una norma de la Constitución que estaría creando el sujeto de derechos como río o demás, sino es la decisión de los jueces constitucionales de entender que las normas de protección ambiental que existen en la Constitución implican concretamente mecanismos de protección tales como reconocer a un río como sujeto de derechos y en especial protegerle los 4 derechos reconocidos en la sentencia.
The resulting judgment identified the Atrato as having legal rights of protection, conservation, maintenance, and restoration. To ensure its successful implementation, a set of 14 guardians were appointed, who belonged to different departments in the Choco region.
Bueno, los guardianes somos personas que procedemos de los procesos organizativos, tanto indígenas como afrodescendientes. En este momento hay un grupo de guardianes de 14 personas, pero todos somos de proceso organizativo, hemos venido dando luchas ecológicas, luchas ambientales, en defensa del territorio, pero también en defensa de la seguridad de nuestro territorio, ¿sí?
Since the establishment of the river's rights and guardians in 2017, there has been little time to fully see its results. However, there's a lot of hope for protection of the Atrato.
Creo que esta herramienta es una respuesta de la Corte para explorar cómo avanzar. La Corte protegió los mínimos constitucionales, pero los máximos se consiguen en los espacios de deliberación política. Y ahí puede haber avances sin límite. Como es algo nuevo, y había pensado un poco en esta respuesta, because it's a new thing, the sky is the limit.
It has legitimized that voice of Chocoans and communities along the Atrato. It has given them a voice, it has raised their profile, and it has given them confidence to move forward and demand change. They are asking for something that, at the highest court in the land, they have been told you have a right to this.
Yet the path forward for the river's guardians is full of challenges. They lack state resources and support, have limited river data available, and work in a complex territory.
We have now in Colombia a huge percentage of environmental activists that are being murdered. There's a huge homicide rate, and it comes at big price.
El tema de seguridad es transversal a todo lo que está pasando, porque la actividad extractiva, como es la minería y la actividad forestal, mucha de ella toda es ilegal, su mayoría es ilegal, y muchos de estos grupos se están autofinanciando con esas actividades.
I am very aware of certain guardians that I know well, and yes, they are regularly receiving threats on their life.
I think that is why this campaign of river rights is so neuralgic in a way, because it comes at a time where environmental activists are facing huge threats on their lives, and the more eyes are on them, the less alone they are.
So what is next for the Guardians and the river? The River Guardians are working with local and international communities to build legitimacy, alliances, and awareness regarding the rights of the river. They are collaborating with researchers who have gained an interest in the Choco region following the 2017 verdict. Along with Tierra Digna, they are initiating a campaign that does exactly what they need, a campaign that gathers broad voices of support and celebrates that we are all guardians of the Atrato River. The legal voice of the river is also a call to other voices. It is the hope that initiates a flood.
Yo soy Embera Dóvida. La palabra Embera significa hombre, Do significa río.
The science is there really to identify the links between impact of the pressures and the actual consequence on water quality.
Yo creo que la corte le da voz al río.
What we are doing by talking about it, by making noise about it, by trying to connect them to other guardians of other rivers, is a step in the right direction.
Soy parte de quienes luchan por seguir pariendo la libertad y la justicia, de quienes conservan la esperanza por un mejor vivir, de aquellas mujeres que usan el amor maternal para cuidar su territorio como espacio de vida, de quienes alzan la voz para parar la destrucción de los ríos, de los bosques y los páramos.
You saw your fate with your own eyes, see as destiny sees, and your mother is a mountain. Look for heaven and you'll see. Why not you? Why not me?
Atrato viajero que el Señor creó, atrato viajero que mi alma llevó, atrato viajero que el Señor creó, atrato viajero que mi alma llevó. Ancho y caudaloso pasas, lento en tu viaje retratas el dolor que injusto llevas